is not too loud. Okay. Got that on there. Wearing the Lego shirt. Got the Lego cup for later, the mug. Empty so far. Okay. See if anyone's going to pop up. And let's test these. Put a few commands in. So apologies for the arms drifting across the camera there. Let's check this. Should work. Okay. That's on there. So chat works. Always good to see. I am new to this and testing a whole lot of stuff up. If anyone is watching, just let me know if you can or can't hear me, if I need to speak louder, if I need to turn my fan off that's giving me a nice cool breeze. What I'm going to be doing a little bit later is I'm going to be building some sets. A few recent purchases. That's out for now. I've got switch windows. Oh, a bit of glare. Bit of Jurassic Park set with the Dilophosaurus ambush. So there's that one. We've got so much glare from that overhead light. Baby rocket ship from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Fairly recent set, but already on clearance at Kmart. I won't complain about that. And we've also got one of the new Dreams sets. I was at Big W earlier today, and this is on their website as coming soon. This whole range. I think it's an August release technically. But they had it, scanned the checkouts, and I got points with it, so all good. And we've also got my one. Where's the count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-piece little mock that was part of my South Pole diorama. And so I was going to give a quick run through on how that worked. And I think we'll start with let me also I'll just send out a notification on Facebook and Instagram just to go, hey, actually live now. Let's go to channel. Please stand by. Okay, let's screenshot that. Instagram stories. Let's just go. Yep, something like that. And we'll chuck in a little Twitch logo and a link, and away we will go. One of those. One of these. And we'll share that one. And we'll go that one to Facebook. That one to Facebook. And this one to Facebook. Okay. There we go. So now that that's all set. Okay. Now we're ready. It's warm in here. It's winter, but it's Queensland, and I'm warm. I'm in an enclosed garage with a fan on me in winter. This shirt doesn't breathe much either, courtesy of the big stuck-on logo on the front. But it's a cool shirt, so I'm going to wear it. Alright, so what we have here is not a mythosaur from Star Wars or The Mandalorian, although it will kind of look like one when it's done. I'll bring up on the side here, if this works live. I will unhide the image there. So what we have there is the skull of a baleen whale, so like blue whales, humpback whales, those sort of whales that don't have teeth, and but that's kind of the basic skull shape of all of those species. The jaw has two sort of wide curved bones that don't meet at the front, and then the top of the skull is two large flat bones, and I've got these Technic aeroplane parts here for that. And then with these parts, that's where we'll build up just the sort of rounded back of the skull. So it's a 14-part mock. Start with that piece there. And this could be done with a 1x4 plate, but this is what was in there when I dismantled it earlier today. And then over here, got two of these corner plates with a 1x2 plate joining them. And that goes like that. And I'm not sure why I did it that way. I could have used just two corner plates stacked up, but I think possibly I did it this way so that that piece joining across from the back of the build makes it look more, complete one piece, and less a build of two halves, because from here the two front bits of the skull will attach on, and I think that just kind of pins it together. Because from there it's simply a matter of attaching this way. Helps if I hold it the right way up. So on the back of this wing panel is the L-shaped Technic bar built into it. That just lines up with those studs like so. And so I think that's why here I used a single plate across the two L plates instead of just doubling up L plates. I think that must be the logic behind it. So then this then mirrors that. Attaches on like so. I didn't use a pin to join these because if we compare it to the real skull, I wanted there to be a bit of that sort of groove between the two bones, like you can see in the reference photo. So just not having a pin there just kind of helps keeps it from looking too flush. All right. Then the lower jaw bones, it's just two of the same thing. We have a Technic brick with the plus sign axle hole. Call it a Phillips head if you want. And then just a 1x2 jumper plate on top of that. We do that twice. And then we put one of these giant claw pieces in, curving to the left. And we put the other one curving to the right. That's a mirror image. The other cool thing with this Technic panel is that the pinholes over here kind of look like the eye sockets, which, happy accident. And then on the underside of those pinholes is where the stud of the jumper plate now goes. So that clips into that. That one clips on that side. And there we have the skull of a baleen whale, which only looks slightly like a mythosaur from Star Wars, if we pull the jaws out further. Alright. So there's that. So I thought we'd start off with just a quick little run through of something I built as a little warm up for the stream. See if anyone comes along for a visit and a chat. And if you do swing by, just say hello, say g'day, and we'll build some Lego on this warm winter Sunday arvo. Okay. See if anyone else is around at this time of day. Which would help. Still getting the hang of talking to myself, talking to a computer screen, basically, talking to the camera. And yeah, like my little welcome message says down there in the chat, I am still working on a regular schedule. I've got work, I've got a somewhat social life, I've got streams that I want to watch. Then there's the all-important nap time when I come home from work. So yeah, it's just a matter of figuring out what days. I don't want to do it every day. I want this to be fun, somewhat social with the community on here. So yeah, a lot of the times I will be just hanging out in the chat of other streamers. And there's a few of them around, and I'll do some shout outs later, especially if anyone's around. Yeah, getting the hang of streaming and getting it to look cool, and just I had bright lights put in the garage, which helps. This used to be a quite dim space, and the camera I've got is behaving today, so we'll see how that goes. And from there we'll see what happens. I will take a break around about 6 o'clock, which is in 2.25 hours. We have fish and chips for dinner every Sunday. That's a little family tradition we've got going, so duck down to the local and get our usual. And then I might stream a little bit more. It depends on how much I get built, I suppose. I can be a quick builder. It also depends on if anyone's watching chatting. Chat will obviously slow me down a little bit. But yeah, so basically we'll hang around here and see what happens. So that was the that was the baleen whale skull. I'm trying to tilt it so it looks kind of similar to the photo, but you get what I'm going for. I have a stack of brick separators at the ready. I will get a drink shortly and have that ready to go in the red mug. Let me clear off I'll hide the whale image. There we go. And I will bring up the picture of what we're going to be doing. Let's go add an image. And we're going to bring up the browse. Let's go for go. So we've got that one, which we will make fill. There we go. So that's probably going to be the first little build. Is Baby Rocket's ship from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And just try this up. Couple places you can find me on Facebook and Instagram, which I sort of do fairly more regularly than I stream at the moment. I'll try and do a bit of everything, a bit of both. And I'm only using a laptop here, so it's lots of tabs and lots of things to flick between. And okay, got the mug there ready to go. Got the set ready to open. Let's open it up and see if anyone pops on by. And if you do pop in, please say g'day. And yeah, let's build some Lego. Alright, got the book there ready to go. So here we go. So much glare. And a camera that really doesn't want to focus. We got Baby Rocket's ship, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. 3 bags, a lot of grey, a bit of orange and some bright light orange, which is a quite a cool colour. Alright, let's open this up. Bit of noise from the bags, put that aside for throwing out later. All the small bits. And okay, put that three to one side. I mean, this would be an interesting build to attempt a instructions-free build, just going off the photo on the front of the box and the photo on the back, which does sort of show the cabin roof open a little bit. So there's a couple angles of the arms, a couple angles of the ship. The engines are rotated, so that that gives a view of the underside. So you could probably attempt an instructions-free build, but I'm not going to be that silly. Not today. Going forward, as I stream more and try and build more, I'm thinking maybe I put that on there as an option for streams. Is doing you can do a build in the bag with a small poly bag. Why not do a challenging build without instructions? I've done some stuff before. Usually the small $10 sets are what I can generally get from the two angles shown on the box. Tried it with some larger sets once that had multiple smaller sort of sub parts to the build, and got 90% of the way there. One of them was, I think, it was like a winter shopping village little set or something. There's a few buildings, and one photo on the front of the box showed the front of the building, but the photo on the back showed the interiors, so there was a little bit of guesswork involved. And here's something funny. In the instructions, the new instruction books, they've been doing a lot of these, shiny ta-da moments in the picture when you build your minifig. Obviously, for the raccoon, it's a one-piece mold, and ta-da, the raccoon's done. I feel a sense of achievement. I've done the first step. We have a baby raccoon, which is listed on Bricklink as a Friends raccoon, so no doubt it will show up in a future Friends set once they finish with the Marvel Lego. It's got a little smiling face. It's not quite as sort of cartoony, cutesy as most of the Friends animals, but the body shape and the feet is definitely that sort of very curved, rounded, cartoony body shape, even if the face is a little bit more realistic with the eye markings. So it's an interesting way that they've made a part there that, it's specific to this Marvel film, but it also has potential for future Lego sets as well. All right. Step 1. Almost at 4 o'clock. I was going to start the stream at 3. We've been going for 28 minutes because I did a quick run through of my 14-piece baleen whale skull of my own design. But now we're going to get into an actual set build. So, step 1, get this piece. Before I get... Okay, I'm on step 1. The other thing in the book, I'm assuming that this is also related to if you use the app instructions, but there's like a slider bar along the bottom of the pages it's a progress of where you are in the set and how close you are to finishing it. And they will use a minifig or a part from the set as the little bar that shows you. So here we have the baby raccoon, and he will just show up in a slightly different place on each page as it advances along. Just like our little raccoon is going to sit right here and watch as the build progresses. I'm not going to really sort these out. I don't really do the whole thing of knolling or laying my parts out and pre-sorting into little piles. I also don't have a set way that I do build. What I'll usually do is just sort of grab stuff per step. Sometimes when the book tells me you'll need 2 of these and 1 of these, I will grab the parts first and then place them, or sometimes I'll just see what I need and grab those and add them, grab that and add it. It varies. I don't have a fixed method, a fixed routine. And something else that I do is when it gets later in the build to the two sort of engines, the two arms on the side of the spaceship, anything like that, anything like an aeroplane, a boat that has clear mirror image design in it, when the instruction book is telling me how to do the left, I will build the right at the same time, which then means a little bit later I sort of have to skip a few pages because I already did that. That is something I tend to do because I see where it's going and just jump ahead. Need another one of those. That goes on there. Just thinking where I could place the camera where it's a little bit more. That's too far to the left, so if I move the camera slightly that way, the logo part's in the middle of the screen. I could also make this a little narrower. Okay. So that's step 4 done. Step 5. Yeah, there was no way I was doing any of this from the picture on the box. I don't think any of this is visible in that cockpit. Let's get it there. That goes there. And even when I'm not... g'day Lumberjack Josh. I mean to say g'day before heading off to bed. Yeah, what? Hang on. Quick look at my clock on the laptop. It's 11:01 p.m. in Seattle. What time zone are you in? I've got in-laws in the Pacific time zone over in the US. But here in Australia, it's 2 a.m. Yeah, like I was up at ridiculous o'clock our time. Again, watching Brooks Bricks last night, and then who after that? Arcana Bites, I think, was where I finally called it at about 3 o'clock in the morning our time. But I didn't work today, so it's all good. I got to sleep in, and now I'm building Lego. I haven't been to Tennessee. Well, I haven't been east of Minnesota. Been to Minnesota, to California, Hawaii, and Washington State, and been through Oregon technically, and technically got out of the train. The first time I went to Seattle, I took the train up from LA to Seattle, so I did get out and walk in the snow in Oregon for a little bit. Yeah, I caught a little bit of Stud in the Dud this morning, but I was, again, because I stayed up till 3 a.m. last night, I kind of, was probably still a bit bleary at that time. I did follow the channel last night so that I would see it, see the notification that it was on. But I think I'll have to catch that next time. And I know watching streams is always fun to coordinate with time zones. How do you handle co-hosting something like that? suppose something like timeanddate.com comes in handy. Figuring out, I think it's got built-in features for picking two places in the world and figuring out when meetings are feasible. One thing with time zones is when the FIFA World Cup was on in Qatar last year, I took a few weeks off work just to basically stay at home and watch every game. But I basically took the time to just sort of completely change my sleep schedule and run on Qatar time. I was going to bed at 7 a.m. and then waking up in the afternoons and doing stuff, and then watching a game or two, and then again going to bed as the sun was coming up. A lot of fun. Let me just see. Am I following you, Lumberjack Josh? I think I am. Cool. Just checking. And while you're here, let me check that this feature works. It's just stud and dud, isn't it? Let's see if this works. Hey, look at that. Get the first shout out. Alright. Yeah, like I was saying before, I caught a little bit of Stud and the Dud this morning when I was still kind of waking up after staying up too late last night watching streams. It's co-hosted by Lumberjack Josh and Tasman Bricks, both streamers here on Twitch. No doubt chatting about Lego, occasionally building, and getting up to all sorts of mischief. As we do. Okay, I'm up to step 15 as we go on. I mean, they're not huge steps. They've got, each step's only got a couple of parts. This is, well, according to the box, it's an 8+ sort of age level. Not that that really always applies to. There it is, upside down. Doesn't always sort of correlate with difficulty. It's more the, I think it's more the techniques involved than the. There's probably plenty of 6-year-olds that could build this quicker than I could. Alright, that goes. Oh, that's interesting. That's cool. So there's a hinge brick on the end of the ship with just a plate and a tile behind it so that it just sort of goes at that slight angle. Someone somewhere engineered that angle. Alright, on goes a plate. And yeah, because of the low number of parts per step, I'm already on step 19, and it's only 409. There we go. There's one there. A couple more of these on the end. Okay. And plate there. 2x4 brick goes up there on the end. Okay. Right there. There. Oh, bag one's coming together nicely. I just had the thought as well that something else I could practice and, challenge myself to do on stream would be to do a build like this, but where I don't ever look down at what I'm building. I might have to do that with like a book up on an easel or something, or maybe have the digital instructions in one tab, but just to be looking up and then using the camera to be like, I need that part that's over there. That could be fun. That could be hilarious. It could be boring as well. It would probably slow the build down a whole lot. Alright, I'll trace this going. It goes on like that. Goes up on the back of the ship. Stay. Start. Two of these go on. Okay, yeah, on some other age bracket sets, it might have told me to do one side and then the other. This is confident that I can just do two of the same thing there. Good to see. Click that down. There's it there. Wait, what's that? How have I missed a step? Have I? Yes. It doesn't affect the build, which is good. I missed step 25, which is to extend these a step back there. And then put those brackets down the front. Like so. Alright. Now we're caught up. Now the picture looks again like what we're going for. Little Rocket sitting here just watching his pile of parts get smaller. I need that guy's arm. Okay. Hinge plates at the back. 2x3 plate behind them. Couple of those little wedges. Step 32. that. I'm not doing this as a speed build, but it's still coming together pretty quickly. So I've got two other sets put aside to build. Shut that there. And we'll duck in a shout out for Lumberjack Josh. It's cool he swung by for a chat and to say g'day, even if it's not for long. Always appreciated. Two of this step, brick and a slope on a 1x4 plate. Done and done. That goes on the front of these brackets. I do like the geometry of Lego sets using slopes and brackets, and it's not building studs not on top, to go forward and change direction, and hinges and things like that. It's always cool. Two little curved slope bricks for the front of the ship. Orange 1x6s. Rocket's little pile of parts here is really getting small. And then some tiles. Yeah, this bright light orange, as Bricklink calls it, this sort of darker yellow shade. It's a really nice bright color. It really goes well with the orange. And it's in a lot of the jungle Lego City sets from a couple of years ago that I do have and never sort of put together into any sort of mock or display scene. But yeah, very cool color. What am I doing? Okay, turn upside down. Chuck some bladey things into some clippy things. Those are the technical terms. That's probably the technical terms. And then goes that way. That one goes that way. Okay. Interesting. And goes under there, which means, okay, Rocket gets to play with the spares. And there is bag one. Cool little cockpit module. It does slightly sit flat here, but it has the tendency to tip forward. But there we go. All right, on to bag two. Move bag three out of my way. And bag two. Let's get back there. That's the geometry of having a camera that's at an angle to me and working out where I can put things. Okay. this is where we get adult-sized Rocket, because I suppose they've got to have a minifig. Baby Rocket doesn't technically count as a minifig. He's a animal, land, as the Bricklink category goes. Here we get Rocket. Where's his short little leg piece? Hiding under there. And I think his tail will have to go up. I think his legs are too short for his tail to hang down. Has to go that way. And I think it's the same tail. I'd have to check Bricklink, but I think it's the same tail as a few other sets. I'll quickly go there. I should have had Bricklink open. I usually have it open most of the time. Hang on, let's get that one. I've got another Bricklink order to pick later. What's on there? A minifig, a bunch of parts, animals, to New South Wales. Cool. Anyway, got distracted by that notification. What am I looking for? I'm looking for, this is set number 76254. And we want the minifigure in it. New Rocket Raccoon, dark blue suit, reddish brown head. And this part on the back is called reddish brown minifigure costume tail Fluffy. Good to know. And it comes in 17 sets and 14 minifigures. So there is the collectible minifig guy in the raccoon suit and has the grey version of the tail. Previous Guardian sets, Rocket has a dark grey tail because he's a dark grey raccoon, whereas in this he's brown. Okay. There's a guy in a wolf costume from Minifig Series 23. I don't think I got that one. I will have to track that one down at some point. There's another wolf guy. Yep, the werewolf from Series 14, the monsters. Okay. In brown, that's the more recent Guardians version of Rocket. It's, I was right. I was thinking this was, I'd seen this in the Looney Tunes sets. It's the tail for Wile E. Coyote and Tasmanian Devil as well. So yeah, okay. Now that I've been sidetracked down the rabbit hole of, ooh, what's that part? On with the next part. There you go. You can babysit Baby Rocket. And then, as seen at the beginning, where we had the shining stars going ta-da for Rocket, we've got it here for when you finally put Adult Rocket together. It's just kind of funny that at the start, it's like, here's a piece that you don't need to put together. You're done. Ta-da! Okay, that's interesting. 1x1 round brick on the end of the blaster. There you go. There's your little bazooka, which, oh man, that's makes him really front heavy. It's got to sort of lean on the gun. use it as a crutch. Yeah, there's no way that you're posing him like in the book without putting him on a base plate. All right, so now we are on to we're roughly 25-ish minutes into this particular build, and we're starting on bag 2, which begins with step 40. And the little rocket progress bar is nearly halfway across the bottom of the left-hand page. So we're not quite a quarter of the way through the steps. Then we get these on here. And then the tail. This clips onto the back. Is it hingeable? Oh yeah, it hinges downward. Oh, and having said that, very next step says hinge your tail downward. That's cool. So it lines up with the back of the ship. Instead of being like an aeroplane tail, it's down that way. So it has more of a fish look to it at the moment. Put that there. Find those two slopes. And I haven't got any timers or anything set up, so I'll just type welcome again. We've been going for, well, actually no, I'll do that. We'll have that ready to go, and we'll put that up at the 1 hour mark, which is in just under 2 minutes from now. Alright, so step 43. This is from the engine, so this is where I was talking about earlier, about doing both at the same time. This is where I'm going to do that. So there's that. One for you. One for you. And basically everything I do that follows the book, I repeat mirror image. So I'll end up with a left and a right engine. So let's go that way. Two plates. Now when I was a kid, there's nothing harder to get apart than two plates joined together. That's where you find all the knife marks or the teeth marks. Yeah, just replying to Taz. He sent me a message. Right. Oh yeah, knife and teeth marks on those. Upstairs, I've still got childhood Lego to sort through. Borrowed from, well, not borrowed, regained from my parents' house. I built some sets out of it, found parts. I still haven't gone through most of it though, but a lot of it is damaged as you'd expect from being handled by kids, and not always in the neatest of fashion. All right, let's go. We're going for an hour, so there goes. There we go. Have a welcome message. Fairly new to Twitch, just watching other people and giving it a go myself. Feel free to say hi. Follow if you like, it's free. And then you'll see what else I build or sort. I've still got to build the second half of my display for BBX in September, which requires a bit of tidying in here and hopefully try to set up 2 tables. Because it's in 2 halves that mirror each other, almost. I've got half of it mostly done, and sort of want to be able to access both halves as I work on it. Not always possible with limited space, but we give it a go. Alright, now this sort of wheel hub thing goes over. It's an interesting molded part. Sort of looks like it combines the ideas behind Lego's arched plate with the wheel rim, and with the other common wheel part that has like a brick with an arch coming out of it, but sort of combined into the one part. And that again is going to prompt me to go down the Bricklink little rabbit hole in a separate tab here. To go, hey, how long has this part been around for? Because this is the first time I've really seen it. 2018. It appears in, okay, so a bunch of sets have it in black. It's in a McLaren. Okay, some of the Speed Champions cars have it. It's in the Fast and Furious Charger, which I have, but I haven't built yet. Miles Morales versus Morbius, which I have, but I didn't build the car yet. I just opened it up for the vampire. Yeah, so it's in a lot of... Oh, it's in... of course, it's Groot's eyebrows in the little Groot set. Nice. But yeah, mainly a lot of vehicle sets that I have not built. But yeah. So there was a little sidetrack down checking out this newish, well, in the last 5 years, wheel hub rim. I don't know what do you call it? Not a rim. Mudguard. What's the name of the part? Yeah, Mudguard. 4x2.5 times 2 with arch round solid studs and rounded legs. Thanks, Bricklink. Alright, so we're on step 49, which is technically just this part here. But I am mirroring, I can tell from the picture on the box that you can see here, that we've got a left and a right side. So basically, I've got the instructions for this. I'm building this at the same time. So then that goes there. So that's to step 52. Now we just mirror that. And then we can go to step 53. Adding in that little bit there. Okay. Step 54. And its mirror image. And then so the curved slopes, and then the angled one, wrong angle. That's the one I want. That's the mirror image for this side. That one there. And that one there. So if you've just joined, we're building the Baby Rockets ship from Guardians of the Galaxy 3, as seen in the image on screen here, and as seen in parts here, being supervised by Rocket and Baby Rocket. Step 56. And then the mirror of step 56. Step 57 is to add in the projectile weapon, which always comes with the don't fire a cannonball at the crying minifigures of eyes warning. And how did these triggers go? I know it's part of the play features. I don't tend to use this much. How does that? What does it shoot? Does it shoot a stud or? Oh, yep. Stud clicks in and then it shoots it out. So yeah, don't aim it at your brothers, sisters, nephews, cousins' face. You'll take their eye out. Okay, so step 59, we are now adding that onto that there. And then chucking an arch on. So I'll do that on the other side. And then chucking a vehicle roof with an ingot. And then its mirror image. Alright, what do we got now? Kind of getting low on parts from this bag, so we're nearly the end of this bag. We're not nearly up to that part of the instructions yet, obviously, as I am doing the old left and right at the same time. So there will be a jump ahead shortly. There we go. cast the light on me. Light on me is not too bad. I'm not in the shadow or anything. The light is directly overhead. That's what I care about you seeing. This, yeah. This is to put a face to the name and to everything, and to the voice. Oi. Slow down there. Cheese slope. Facing forward. And there as well. And where does this go? This goes in under there. Chuck that there. There. That goes in there. Let's see that. Then comes the front of that engine. Front of the other engine. Okay, I've just seen something new to me in the instructions. I'm familiar with instructions that have they used to write the word click, and sometimes they'd write it in 2 or 3 languages to be like click, click, to give the impression of a sound effect. Now, we've got something different. So instead of describing the word, we just have a sort of, see if this will focus on that at all. We've got a picture of an ear, 2 little arrows pointing together, and then some little dotted lines sort of sparking outwards from where the arrows are heading to each other. So I suppose that's the pictorial way of saying that when you put this in here, you should hear a sound. And that means now we're up to step 65, but step 65 is the mirror of step 43. So that means we can confidently skip the next 22-ish steps to about 87. Skip forward, staple just ripped from the center page. And yes, step 86 is clicking the opposite engine in. And on to step 87. Okay. And when I had bag 1 built, this tipped forward very easily on it's got a bit of a keel, but not much. Sort of behind its center, so it would tip forward a lot. Now that these are on here, very sturdy. And if anything, if you knock it, it will fall back, it will tip backwards. And if you tip it forward, that gives it the momentum tipping back to continue all the way back. Alright. Windscreen time, or windshield if you're from that part of the English speaking world. And again, the parts on the table is getting smaller and smaller pile, so we know we're getting pretty close to finishing off this bag. A couple more angled bits. Okay, and then turn it upside down. Okay, I will do that. And then clips onto those little got it's like a rounded brick, but it's got a gap in the middle, so it's basically like two rounded plates separated, held aloft by little bars, and then this clicks onto those. And then we have a little cockpit roof. We're on to step 90. So we've been going for about 45 to 50 minutes or so. We started just before 4 on this Baby Rockets ship build. Got a couple of sets here, but going to take a break for dinner around 6ish. So I might stream a bit after that, or might see you over on Taz's stream potentially at 10 o'clock tonight. It goes on there. That plate goes on there, and click, ta-da! And ta-da is just how I translate the trend in the modern instruction books to, highlight the fact that, oh, you're done. That's on there. Good job. And then I close that, and I rotate that, and I rotate that, according to the book. That is a cool looking ship. Definitely has some swooshability. It's definitely giving me like some sort of bird vibe in the tail shape and the chunky little body. Of course, what aren't very bird-like are the arms that are about to be attached to the front of this thing. But yeah, I do like that the ships in these movies can be, sort of sleek-looking and slightly aerodynamic, as if they may have to go into atmosphere, but also, if they're chunky, who cares? They're in space. Is there air? You don't know. Okay. And you know what that means? That means it is time for bag 3. Let's go. For bag 3. And probably getting ready to grab. Sorry, something in my eyes. To grab a drink, I'm thinking, because as the saying goes, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and it's 12 minutes to 5 here. So I think I'm gonna have a beverage when it gets to that point, which should be pretty quick actually, because again, what we've got left on this build, if you look at the picture of the box right there, got to remember which camera I'm looking at. There, that picture from the internet. So that picture there, you can see the two sort of mechanical arms on the front of the ship. Again, we've got a left and a right, so I will be doing the left-hand steps, but building the left and the right at the same time. So each step will also be accompanied by its mirror image. So slider bar baby rocket down the bottom says we've got this far to go, but it's probably only going to take me this long to get there by doing the left and the right arms at the same time. Okay, and move this in a bit. I could just looking at my screen layout and just seeing if maybe I should make chat slightly skinnier. Maybe I should make my pictures on the left smaller. Maybe you don't need to see as much of me down here in the corner. I exist. I am real, and I'm building Lego. Candle piece, and I mean, I just built that completely differently to the way the instructions said. The instructions said clip that onto that, clip that onto that, and then click all of them on, but I'll do it in order that works for me. Oh, hang on, mirror image means we go this way. Slightly easier. So the candle piece is slightly shorter than the gap required, so it just kind of wiggles a bit to go there. It kind of wiggles a bit. And now we've got these. And parts node me is going to stop here as well. And these parts here are just like the swivel points on the engine blocks, only they are a horizontal pivot rather than a vertical hinge. The most sets that I've come across use the vertical one for like dragon legs and things like that. Mechanical arms. Obviously, this one is slightly different, being on the front of the ship. I don't know if that's going to be probably because the arms will be studs up. If I look at the box, yeah, the arms are studs up. So this is to give them some sort of sideways pincer movement. Alright, so that is going on there to line up with that, which means the mirror image goes there. And there again, we've got that little where's the camera? Come across here. There. Okay. We've got the little ear icon with the two black arrows and the little dotted line explosion to say sound pictorially instead of saying click in a couple of different languages. Because, I mean, the whole idea of LEGO instructions is to use pictures, same as with IKEA instructions, so that you don't need to keep reprinting or translating for different markets. You can just go, here's a picture of the Lego, here's the next step, here's the next step, here's the next step. And as long as it looks like that now, and it looks like that now, and now it looks like that, you should be fine. And if it doesn't look like that, maybe you did something wrong and have to go back 6 steps to figure out what happened. That on there. The bottom round goes on there. We are approaching 5 o'clock, and that means time to hit the fridge. And put an ingot on there, and its mirror here. And in the cases of some of these steps, I'm not even looking at the little sidebar that tells you what parts you need for the step. I'm just looking at the picture and going, alright, what have they added? Which is essentially how instructions were when I was a kid. And they may or may not have bothered to do the old red or yellow line outline around parts to sort of go, this bit's new. We won't tell you which parts you need to grab, but this is now what it should look like. And I mean, they were kind of doing that up until even the early 2000s with some stuff when I was first getting back into Lego building as an adult hobby. Okay. Goes there. Goes up there. So now trying to replicate that all again for the other side. And because this is a build, I will probably put this that one's for that one. This turns this way. I mean, they're identical, but which way they face? It goes that way. I'm not going to put everything I stream up onto YouTube later, but when I'm doing a build, I probably will. So I might edit the video a bit and then upload it to YouTube. So if you are watching this live or later, welcome. My name's Glenn, but you can call me Bricken. You can call me Bricko. I've gotten both since using this handle online. There we go. Left and right arms. It's also kind of giving me Blade Runner vibes, the cop car. And having said that, you will find that I am a big, as well as being a big Lego fan, I like a lot of sci-fi, both books and movies and TV shows. So you will hear, no doubt, references thrown in. What do we have just then? The other side is from Predator 2. I did the Galaxy Quest, Is There Air? Earlier. Yeah, so don't be surprised when little things like that pop up in conversation. Most of my favorite films of the past sort of decade have all tended to be sci-fi or sci-fi adjacent films. Where is this going? Okay, turn that around. That goes there. I mean, so far this bit isn't mirror image. It's just the same thing. Now we get these curved bits on. This is going to be where I do opposite facing curves for our left arm and our right arm. Oh yeah, so Bricko, Bricken, Glenn, another Bricken A file if you feel like, using every syllable available. And I'm in Australia, East Coast, Queensland. And I build Lego. I watch sci-fi, play RPGs, read books, and yeah, generally all of the above tend to bleed over into the Lego hobby in some form or another. So hopefully you like what you see and stick around. If you don't, no worries. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. I'm just going to turn that slightly so that the little mark from the molding process is hidden. I don't know if it'll be visible, but when I notice, sometimes I try and keep those things hidden. Some parts are more obvious than others. Some parts you can hide it really well. Alright, I'm on step 115 of, I don't know how many, 139 it looks like. So getting close, and like I said, I'm doing mirror image, so which one are we doing? This? No, we're doing this side first in the book, so that turns right. So it's like, how is this being rotated? There's the rotate logo, but it wasn't the full way around. It was just tipping over. That part goes in there, which means that one goes there, and then it's a bowl-like piece comes off the side there. That one goes out the back. One there, one there. And I'm guessing that all these green pieces are actually just going to be the ammunition for the blasters. And alright, that goes onto the outside of the arm like so, which means this one goes on there. So they can change angle. They must be maneuvering thrusters of some kind for the arms. But I think that's about it, because then everything else is going to be the opposite side, and we've hit 5 o'clock, which means it's drink time. And yes, those are the ammo. Don't shoot your eye out. The pilot can go in the ship if you want, and there's a stud on a jumper plate for the little baby raccoon, although if you've seen the movie you will know that this is Baby Rocket's ship. This is the ship that he uses to escape the lab where he was experimented on. So the inclusion of, does it even stick down? I don't know if he's going to. It's not really. Not a whole lot of clutch power in that. Yeah, so the inclusion of his adult self here as the pilot is more of a I think more of the LEGO need to include a minifigure in the set, since the little animal is technically not one, it's just an animal. But there we go. If we can see in the window, Rocket and Rocket are both on board. Opposable engines at different angles. Yeah, cool little build. And been streaming for an hour and a half, so that was bad. Started at 5 to 4, hit thereabouts, about just over an hour with that. Not bad for a, let's see how many parts are in that one. That 326 parts. So 326, 70 minutes, about 4 parts a minute, thereabouts. Okay, so we've hit 5 o'clock. My nose is itchy. One set is built. That was a really cool build. And now it's time to grab a drink. So if you've got something, grab it. I'll grab one, and I will be right back. I'll mute myself here and see you in a few minutes. Okay, and we're back. The whole geometry of a camera at 45 degrees to me, and figuring out where to go. So we've built the baby rocket ship from Guardians of the Galaxy. We have a drink. It's not a soft drink. What we have is some Weihenstephaner Bayerisch Dunkel, so some dark German beer, something a bit tasty for when it's a bit cold. Yeah, German beer, weird part of England accent. Why not? Okay, so got about 45 minutes or so until I go organise our traditional Sunday night dinner of fish and chips from the local, which is maybe 100 metres away, if that. There's a loud helicopter overhead. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. Alright, so Marvel set's done. Time for Jurassic Park, I think. Ages 6 plus is the recommended difficulty level. So no doubt this guy in his early 40s can smash this out before dinner. Ooh. Should I try this one as a don't look at the book? Ooh. Maybe. Might be doable. Ooh. Don't know about Under the Hood. That might be a bit tricky with the Jeep. And anything with a chassis can be tricky. There'll be parts that you have to figure out. You can probably work backwards from the roof and the sides. You could do that. I've done that before on a set where I got the back of a truck done and the front of a truck, but all the internal bits holding it together structurally. You kind of got to, at some point, got to look at the book, which is what they're there for, right? The book's there to follow. Okay, so we've got 2 bags. We've got stickers. I really don't like stickers. I wish they could have printed more parts. I know that the part's more usable if it doesn't have pre-printed stuff on it, but I don't care about that. I just don't want a sticker to be, unaligned and to get faded or get torn or start peeling off in the humidity and such. So I'd much rather just have printed parts. Alright, so bag 1. 20 past 5. Got the beer cracked open. Let's crack open the dinosaur set. Now, if I wasn't streaming, this is the kind of thing that I would just get apart, go sliding under the MDF sheet here, trying to get away. There we go, go back. This is the kind of set where I would. Oh, and having said that, let's get rid of that image. Let's change the image to this one. This is now what we're building. And I'll put it in a little bit. I'll change it to fit. No, I'll change it to fill. Drag that up there a bit more. Or maybe down next to me. Why not? There we go. Save that. Alright. So yeah, we are not building Baby Rocket Ship. We are building a Dilophosaurus ambush. So here's the dinosaur. Clip its jaw on. Click. Snap. There we go. It's a nice little jaw sound, isn't it? It's a cool little mold. I don't think I've got any Dilophosaurs already. I've got some raptors from previous Jurassic World sets. But there we go. And also, how is Jurassic Park 30 years old? If Jurassic Park's 30, that must mean I'm 42 this year. And that can't be right. And I won't need the instructions for Nedry because there's only one minifigure here, and we know what parts they are. He's got a pretty cool printed face. So one face is, and apologies for my camera, it really won't focus very well. I do need to invest in a better camera. This one does bugger all. It sort of focuses way back here, but then you can't see anything. But basically, Nedry's face, I will actually bring this setup on. 76958. We'll do this instead. We will I'll just grab the image. For Nedry. And then we will chuck it up on here. Let's see if this works first. Let's try browser share. No, and change that to no. The other tab. It's like I put it in a separate tab on its own, and then it wants to share the other tabs that I've got open. So let's just take over the screen for a bit. Let's try screen share. See if this will work. Alright. So we've got that. So there we go. Now you can see Nedry's minifigure head. So we've got the scared look on one side with sweat running down his face, and then we've got the hit with Dilophosaurus poison on the other. So that's his two-sided head there. There's his hairpiece, so there we go. Minifigure's done. Time to open the book, I suppose, and see what. Alright, bag 1 plus Dilophosaurus. Yep, done and done. Alright, Jeep time. Looking like some nice solid components to the chassis already. It's got to hold up to being handled by 6 years and up, I suppose. Yeah, so the camera focus isn't bad down here, which, you know, is probably a good thing. The light's pretty bright. Yeah, I don't know. Might be time to spend more than $20 on a camera. Alright, so now we are building a Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus ambush set. One of the recent Jurassic Park sort of sets based on the class, you know, now classic old movie, because it's 30 years, which may or may not be hard to believe for some. And I'll put these in here. When I built the Guardians, the Baby Rockets ship just then, I was mirror imaging everything for the left and right. I'm not sure if this Jeep is identical. Looks like it might be. It's saying spin it around, do it again. Yep. Alright. So we'll save some time and read ahead. Chuck a few more pins in. And one there. And one there. Now these parts are normally used this way off a chassis, so this side attaches to the chassis and then this side has a wheel pinned in it. Clipping on the other way from a pin on the side here for this one. Right. Okay, so that's step 10 and 11 and 12 done by doing that, which must mean beer time. And yes, I am using a Lego mug. A nice bit of Lego merch of a human-sized version of the minifigure part. And I'm using it to have some German dark beer out of. I still haven't yet measured the volume of this mug to see how much it actually holds. I do know that if you're having like a normal Australian sized can, it doesn't all fit in there. You need to have a refill as you go. And this being a German 500ml bottle, I believe. Looks like it, yep, 0.5 litres. It will definitely be more than one fill of the cup, that's for sure. It's 5:30 Australian Eastern Time, and in about half an hour, I won't do a be right back. I'll end the stream. I'll have been going for about 2.5 hours by the time we hit 6 o'clock. And then it will be fish and chip time in my house, and I'll probably watch a movie or some TV with dinner, and then pop back on possibly around 8 or 9 o'clock and build the third set that I've got waiting to be built today, which I actually picked up today. The Jurassic Park and the Marvel set I've had sitting around for a little bit, but I have a brand new Dreams set that I will be building later tonight, and then I'll also so that'll be around 8ish or 9ish, give or take, and then the at 10 o'clock my time, I'll be jumping over to Tasman Bricks, and seeing what he's up to tonight. So he usually streams at about 10 o'clock Australian Eastern Time on a Sunday night, and I've jumped on his stream once before, I think, once or twice, and it's a lot of fun. Okay. Hello and welcome, Layla. I do only speak English, technically, and I can read a bit more in at least one or two other languages a bit, but Arabic is not one of them. So that right there. Let's see. Why can I? I've just used Google Translate. I don't know what he's trying to make, but it looks like something interesting. Come on, let's watch, bro. Fair enough. Yes, what I'm making is, if we look, I'll switch back to this view here. So I've got the picture here of the Lego set. It's the Jeep and Dilophosaurus attack from the 1993 film Jurassic Park. That's the instruction book of the build. So that's what we're currently making. So welcome from whichever part of the world you're watching from. I'm sure Twitch will tell me in its breakdown of stats later where I had viewers from. I'm in Australia. In Studio, I wasn't able to copy and paste that, but in my browser, I was able to highlight and then pop open some Google Translate And and alaikum assalam to you. It's probably not very appropriate to cheers, but hey. Yes, I am building this Jurassic Park set, having a beer, and basically having a relaxing Sunday afternoon before dinner. And in this set, we have a little picture of Dennis Nedry's minifigure walking along to tell us how far in the build we are. We're already more than a quarter of the way through. So speeding right along, and I've just put those in the wrong spot. That goes there, that goes there. Alright, now we're back on track. Brick on that side, brick on that side. There's no way I could have built any of these bricks in here working from just the picture on the box. It works on the smaller sets. It doesn't really work on things with all this hidden structure. And I might update my about as well. Like I think I've got the tag in English. I think it says streams in English, but I might make notes as well of what I can and can't read. Two of these plates. Alright, bag one's getting down there, and it's already under 5:38, so I think there's a good chance carrying on at this speed. I think I'll be safely finish this set before dinner. There. Oh, it's an 8 wide vehicle. I should have realised that from these side bits, but yeah, it's 8 stud wide. Tricky in some road layouts if you're doing a Lego City setup on your table. We'll add some parts up there. 47, and we are at the halfway mark in the book. Right, and there's the running board for the side. Put those on. There. Goes in there. Skip ahead 2 steps because I just did a left and a right. Lay some plates. Let's get into that part of the build where you can just sort of reach and grab for a part, and you're going to need it in the next step or two because That's it. That's bag one. Okay, I had Baby Rocket looking after his spare parts last time. The Dilophosaurus can stand over here. And he and Nedry can look after their little pile of spare parts. And I've just bumped the camera. And are we frozen? USB strikes again. Are we good yet? Nope, still frozen. Oh boy. Alright, let's try this again. Come on. And let's try to get this back. Come on. Oh, it's frozen. Oh, come on. This is really why I need a new camera as well. Let's go to Alright. Can I safely move the camera back without? Okay. Alrighty. So, until I bump the camera just then. So we finished bag one. We've got that part of the truck. We've got some wheels, a roof, and some landscaping, and 18 minutes till I'm going to go off stream to get some dinner organised, and then maybe see you later tonight. So let's crack on. Rip open the bag. Have a bit more refreshing German beverage. And there we go. So even before looking at the instructions, I know that these tires are going to go on these wheels. That's pretty obvious. And also pretty obvious with the chassis that they're going to use these tan Technic pins. On at least 4 of them. The spare tire might, so you know, I can skip ahead of the book for that pretty safely. Get the tire to sit nicely. If the spare tire goes on the back here, it probably pins the opposite way. Or actually, it probably goes on a normal pin. So, I've been going for 2 hours, so I don't have timers set up, but I will do the welcome message and I will do the socials message of keeping that in your view. So welcome. My name's Glenn. I go by, some people call me Bricko when I pop up in chat. Some people call me Bricken, and others just go for the full Another Brick and A4 all in one go, all of which are cool by me. I also go by Richie. That's a whole other story and why that even makes sense. And I'm an Australian adult fan of Lego, new to this Twitch thing. I've tried, what am I thinking? I've tried time-lapse videos in the past of builds, mainly because when I first tried my hand at doing live streams, it was on a different platform, but it was hard to tell if anyone was ever watching. It was, the chat was basically non-existent, and so sort of gave up on that for a while. I mean, that's why I had the $20 camera, was to video builds and do some time lapses and things, which is a lot of fun. But then I've started watching other people's streams more recently and found quite a few to watch, and hooked the camera back up, played around with some different apps like OBS and Streamlabs, and I've set up some commands and things in Streamlabs. You can tell that from what I've just had pop up. But I'm mainly using Twitch Studio at the moment as my operating software, because if you thought it was bad before when the camera had its little hissy fit, it's worse when I used OBS. It would often just not recognize the camera. I'd have to unplug it, plug it back in, close down OBS, reopen it, all sorts of things. And that sounds like someone's cat outside. I think I've got my sound settings so that you don't hear too much of what goes on out in the street, and you shouldn't really hear my fan going. It is winter in this part of the world, in this hemisphere, but I'm also in a closed-in, stuffy garage and wearing a shirt that doesn't breathe, and shorts, and bare feet too. Queensland. Alright, that's the back of the Jeep done. We're just about done. A couple of these 1x4 2 studs plates to go on. Enough for the roof to clutch, but not enough to fall apart when you try and dismantle anything. Windscreen. Roof. Keeping an eye on the time here, because I'm not doing a speed build, but at this point it's getting close to dinner, and it's also pretty straightforward. Dennis just fell flat on his face. No man. Put this up on top. kind of got one eye looking at the book, but one eye just grabbing the parts that I see in the picture without looking too much at what's going on. And yes, here comes the spare tire, which is, tires don't always fully pop into the lip of the wheel. So the tire is on just a black Technic pin to clip into the back of the Jeep. 4 wheels, already got there. Alright, and Dennis can go into the truck. He's driving along, looking scared. Driving through a hurricane, trying to get to the docks before the boat leaves. So now what we've got left with all these parts is the landscaping and the little dude walking along the bottom of the instruction book is almost at the end. So we're getting close. And it's 9 minutes to dinner. Okay. I say 9 minutes to dinner, you know, that's 9 minutes till I go off stream and then start getting dinner organised. Sunday night is our fish and chip night. We have a local fish and chip shop we've been using for over a decade. And while our usual order has changed a couple times over those years, it is nice having a place you can ring up. They hear your voice and go, oh, the usual, see you soon. And you can hang up and then head down there and we've got food ready because they know what you want. And sometimes you have to drop and go, actually, no, tonight I'm going to go something different. Or if my wife's away on a craft thing or getaway and I go down there, I sometimes go down there at lunch, and that really blows their mind. Oh, we have a white frog. Why is there a white frog? Oh, is the white frog meant to be the foam out of a little Barbasol can? That's a funny little detail if it is. Or is there a frog in the movie? I can't remember that scene. It's been a while since I've seen it. Alright, some landscaping on. Big leaf goes there. Another big leaf on that side. And then we're going to get the sign pointing the way to the docks. It goes up there. Cool, so it pivots slightly on the jumper plate, but then also the sign itself which has a sticker, but I'm not going to play that sticker yet. So imagine this has an arrow on it that really easily rotates so that as in the movie, the sign, when he crashes into it, the sign tilts. So it's like, well, is the east dock that way or that way? Alright, those two are down. Map of the island. This sign is the one that says East Dock. And I think we're just about to, oh, look at that. It's 5:55 and we're done. So that one went together pretty quickly. That one Add. That one had 206 parts, so less than Baby Rocket's ship. Pretty quick build. So there's the Jeep, the dock sign, which is designed to spin, but also it's only on a jumper plate, so it's easy to crash into and knock the sign over. So when you pick it up and put it back in place, the arrow hangs and points in both directions, rotates, which allows the Dilophosaurus time to attack through the window. Cool. Very cool little set. Hard to believe that Jurassic Park was 30 years ago. So thanks for those that hung around, watched, lurked, chatted, and so on. Hope you enjoyed the builds. I certainly did. Bit of fluff on that. I'm going to end the stream now and probably finish this cup and then leave the rest as a refill for later tonight. And so yeah, aiming to be back online somewhere between 8 and 9. And if you don't see me then, on Tasman's channel, and he's not here, but we'll do I think it's Tasman _ Bricks. Let me just check that. Tasman _ Bricks. There we go. So check out his channel. I'll be hanging out there at 10 PM onwards tonight. Otherwise, see you around here between 8 and 9. Thanks for checking this out, and see you next time. Bye.